guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. It is June 25th. It's almost 11 o'clock Central Time here in the morning. We're going to be hanging out doing a Chihuahua but Superflex draft on Underdog Fantasy here. We're going to hop into a screen share here. I'm waiting for the lobby to fill. It looks like it's going to fill shortly here. I just want to kind of overview the contest for you guys. The Chihuahua but Superflex. It's a $4 entry. It's going to fill fast. Like, it just opened up yesterday. 13.5% filled already. I think the other Chihuahua that was available earlier in the week, I mean, that thing filled in a matter of 3 days, maybe 4 days. So huge opportunity to get into this contest right now. It's going to only be here for another 2 or 3 days. You can only do 25 max entries, 25K to first. And then let me show you the format here is a little bit different. The roster format tab. Let me see here. You're starting 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 superflex, and 1 flex. So the big difference here is they basically removed a starting receiver. They put in a superflex, and that's going to change how things go a little bit. So I have a few of these under my belt so far here. It looks like I just drew the 11th spot here. I have, it was weird. Yesterday, I got the number 1 pick like 3 or 4 times in a row. This morning, I drew the 110, and now we are back at it in the back end of the first round here. So we're not going to get one of the top-end QBs. We might try to see what kind of QBs we can get in the 3rd and 4th round here. But it's fun. Superflex, man, it's one of my favorite formats of fantasy football. My most important league is a Superflex league, so I view this as extremely valuable research here for my upcoming, redraft season. But anyways, we're underway here. I'm going to go to the big board, show you guys what's working on here. And actually, I wonder if I can, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to leave the big board. I'm going to leave the big board tab here. And then here will be my player tab. But anyways, draft is moving. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts goes number 3. I had been taking Jalen Hurts. I think yesterday I had 4 or 5 drafts where I was either the 1 or the 2. And I was just nailing Jalen Hurts quite a bit. But yeah, the first 6 or 7 picks are going to be quarterbacks. And I think you're going to maybe see Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase kind of come off the board here mid to late first round. And it's an interesting strategy, taking these. There's kind of like a clear top 7, top 8. You're going to see the field drop off here in a second. There goes JJ. Number 8 here's probably got to look at a guy like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Let me see what we got here. There goes Herbert. That's a nice value on Herbert here. I do view him as being one of the top-end QBs this year. Let's see here. My name, Jeff H. Let's see just who's top available here. Trevor Lawrence, top available. I mean, I could maybe get there goes Jamar Chase. I haven't done it yet. I could potentially do, if Lawrence is there, I'm probably going to take him, and then we can maybe line up some of the Jaguar receivers later. Otherwise, I have seen a lot of people do the Tyreek Hill Tua Tagovailoa stack here. So I think that's what I'm going to try and do. So let's go ahead and grab Tyreek Hill. Hopefully we can get Tua Tagovailoa here on the comeback here. We'll see how it works. But so far, so good. Let me go back to the big board here. And hopefully he lets Tua slide through for us. Otherwise, I'm totally fine with kind of trying to figure something else out at the quarterback position. As far in this, one of the other major differences in this underdog style draft is it's 20 rounds. All of their other drafts are 18, but because it's Superflex, you're going to see teams draft upwards of 3 or 4 quarterbacks. I have been trying to get just a good 2 or 3, and because I have a ton of Superflex drafts in my past, I think you can make 2 quarterbacks. If you get 2 good quarterbacks, I think you can make it work. But anyways, we start off with Tyreek Hill and Tua Tagovailoa. At the next turn, we're going to maybe potentially see what we can do for another stack here. I don't expect Jalen Waddle to make it to us, but you never know. We're picking at 35 and 38 next. Waddle's got a 28 ADP. Obviously, I'll take that if it happens. Otherwise, yeah, it's gonna be weird here. Guys in my ADP range next: Cousins, Daniel Jones. We might be able to line up a DK Metcalf, Geno Smith stack here, and then we can maybe tack on some more Seattle Seahawks guys later. But we're back to the board here. You're going to see a lot of wide receivers and running backs go in the 2nd and 3rd round here. Probably going to ease off quarterbacks in this end of the 2nd and 3rd round. you're starting to see your traditional first-round players come off the board here. There's Bijan Robinson at 19. Interesting, the guy with Justin Jefferson takes CeeDee Lamb. He does not elect to grab Kirk Cousins here. He's going to see if he can get him probably on the comeback. And just from doing, I think this is my 9th Superflex draft with this contest, most people have 2 QBs through 6 rounds. Now, in the 7th round is when teams I've noticed start to grab that 3rd quarterback. I don't know if it's necessary to grab that 3rd quarterback right away. You can maybe play chicken and see if one falls a little bit later. But I've been enjoying 2 quarterback builds with Superflex because, I mean, when you're drafting a QB3 in the 7th round, we're talking about a guy that's maybe going to get 12 to 13 points on average, which is fine. But because you already have 2 quarterbacks ahead of him, he's probably not going to start that many games for you. I'd almost rather, instead of a QB3 that early, I'd almost rather continue taking these high upside wide receivers and running backs to continue to build out my flex positions. But we'll see what happens. You see the teams here at the turn, the 1 and the 2 turn, they both take quarterbacks to have as their number 2 QB. Patrick Mahomes, Anthony Richardson, Josh Allen, and Dak Prescott go. And we'll see if these teams continue to take, there it is, Kirk Cousins, Jalen Hurts, Garrett Wilson. There's Daniel Jones. We're going to miss out on some QBs, it looks like. But hey, if they keep pushing Jalen Waddle back to us, that's going to be pretty sweet. Just out of curiosity, Waddle is the 2nd best available right now. So probably not going to get Mr. Waddle. But you never know. You never know. Some teams might be desperate here at the QB spot. Especially, we're going to be we're going to keep our eye on JoJo and my name Jeff and He Builder. These are the only teams without a QB so far. We'll definitely watch these guys. And again, this is a 25 max entry contest. It's good to get a few of these under your belt because every draft is different. People are just doing some crazy different things. There goes Jared Goff. Man, oh man, if we can get Jalen Waddle to fall to us. And this guy with Justin Herbert, Deshaun Watson, maybe he does take Jalen Waddle. I was thinking maybe he would grab Keenan Allen there. But no mega stack for us. I think that's just fine. Oh, well. But we're potentially looking at Geno Smith, DK Metcalf on the turn here. There's Olave, Devonta. We're up next here. I'm going to slap Geno Smith. If he slides through here, I'm going to smack in Geno Smith, and we'll see if DK Metcalf can slide through. He Builder, because he doesn't have a QB yet, I want to make sure I get Geno Smith secured, and there goes Geno Smith. So it doesn't even happen. There's Aaron Rodgers as the next best QB. You got Russell Wilson deep here, Derek Carr even deeper. Maybe we try and line up Derek Carr. So I'm going to take Chris Olave here. And maybe I don't know if Derek Carr is going to ever make it back to us. He has an ADP of 56. Our ADP is 59 here. So I think I would have to take him at 38, unfortunately. So maybe it makes sense for us. Let's see, we got the Dolphins. I could take Mark Andrews here to correlate with my Dolphins. I think that would make sense. There's a lot of running backs available here. Again, DK Metcalf is available, but there's not a lot of stacking issues, and I don't want to reach 12 picks on ADP on Russell Wilson. So guess what? We're going to take Mark Andrews here. His ADP is 41. I'm going to pass on some of those high upside running backs there, but we're kind of building out the Tua, Tyreek, Mark Andrews stack. This is probably going to put more Ravens on my radar here. If we can get JK, Zay, some of these guys here, I'm cool with it. Let me see if there's any other Dolphins out there. Dolphins are pretty much spent. Maybe we grab one of the running backs late. But that's it. And Russell Wilson got reached on pretty hard. I don't think I'm going to, with Derek Carr being the top QB available, I'll put him up here, but it's probably not happening. With my next pick, maybe we get, Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford, some of these guys to fall to us. I'm hoping the board starts to pivot and really starts looking at, some of these other running backs and wide receivers here. And there goes Derek Carr. So the ADP is still getting work done. I think yesterday when they uploaded it, they had a default ADP rankings, and that was kind of wild. And today when they updated the ADP, there's still some discrepancies here, but it looks like, you got teams drafting 3 quarterbacks here in the first 4 rounds, which just seems kind of crazy to me. It seems a little, I get the high upside of it, but you're really sacrificing some of your other positions here. But yeah, we're going to be weak at QB2, and that's okay. That's okay for me. We have Tyreek Hill and Chris Olave at our starting wide receiver spot. We locked down Mark Andrews in the tight end 1 spot. And now we're just going to need some running backs and some in a QB2 or 3. I wouldn't be opposed to taking 2 quarterbacks here at the turn if that's how it looks. But like I said, I think you can make 2 QBs work. There's going to be guys that are way down the list here. I mean, I like Brock Purdy. I don't know if he's going to ever line up for us. CJ Stroud, I would totally be fine with him as a 3. As long as we get, one of Love or Stafford to maybe come back to us, I think I'm cool with it. Even Mac Jones here wouldn't be terrible. We'll figure out the QB positions along the way here. But you're starting to definitely see less purple, so that's good. We need more guys to take non-QB players. And man, oh man, everything's off by about like a round and a half. I feel like you're kind of like DK Metcalf in a traditional draft. He's going to go in the 3rd round here, so he's almost a full 2 rounds behind ADP from a typical draft. And then you can start to it's going to be interesting because you can see people start to line up their stacks. This guy's got Lamar Jackson, Daniel Jones, T. Higgins, AJ Brown. Not sure what he can stack with these guys. Again, the QBs are pretty rough. He takes Christian Watson, okay. This one should be DJ Moore, but we'll see. And hey, if you guys are just joining us, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you are new to the channel. I'm going to be drafting Chihuahuas pretty much all day today. It's going to be a fun Sunday, just drafting these Chihuahua Superflex teams. We missed on Jordan Love. My name Jeff here, probably going to snipe us on, he's probably going to snipe us on Matthew Stafford here, which is fine. And again, I don't love the strategy of burning 3 picks in the first 4 rounds on QB. Like, one of these guys is kind of useless for him. He's going to be scoring Justin Herbert a lot. Sure, Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson can kind of chip in and rotate at QB2, but not sure I love taking 3 early. And we'll see what my name Jeff here does as Matthew Stafford, top QB available. I might be fine with reaching on Kenny Pickett here because we do have opportunity to stack him with some of his receivers potentially. Jahmyr Gibbs, DJ Morgo, and they send us Matthew Stafford. I don't have Cooper Kupp, but and the guy next to me has 1 QB. Interesting. He's got the same buy as my guy here, so I'll tell you what, I'm gonna grab Keenan Allen here. We'll see what he builder does. I think he's gonna probably end up taking Stafford. I kind of gave it to him, and then I'm gonna come back with another QB here. I believe I'm gonna take Kenny Pickett just because the buy. I don't like having the guys with the same buy, especially at QB2. So I will reach. Oh, he does take Kenny Pickett. Oh, dang. All right, we're going to punt again. We're going to punt again at the position. J.K. Dobbins is my top running back available. I already have 3 solid receivers. I'm going to grab J.K. Dobbins. We're kind of building out that Dolphins-Ravens thing here. We got Tua, J.K., Tyreek, and Mark Andrews. And, hey, guess what? Some of the best ball leagues that I've done in the past with my friends, they've had some janky QB2s end up winning their fantasy football. You can win with some jank at QB2. I don't think it necessarily makes sense to be boosting these guys. I mean, Kenny Pickett was 20 picks above ADP. I probably would have taken him there, but I'm totally cool with continuing to build out my roster here. And our next pick is 83 and 86. I mean, we're going to have to just grab whatever's available here, but hopefully everyone kind of got it out of their system and they have their QBs here. But I do think it is a mistake to grab a QB3 before some of these stud players here because, I mean, Brandon Ayuk's going to score probably more points than Kenny Pickett at the end of the year, and he's going 3 picks after Kenny Pickett right now. They're probably going to average the same amount of fantasy points here too, so I don't see an upside to taking a QB this early. And sure, I'm going to be a little bit fragile at the QB spot. We have Tua Tagovailoa. We're going to need him to play the full season here, so we'll be sweating it out. But so far, we got a balanced start. 1 QB, 3 receivers, tight end, and a running back. And yeah, you're looking at a ton of wide receivers coming off the board right now. Christian Kirk, Brandon Ayuk, Mike Williams, Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin. This is essentially the 4th round of like a typical underdog draft here. So we're starting to kind of, after a while, it kind of settles back into the ADP. Once all the QBs come off the board, it kind of looks like a normal draft again. And yeah, we got only 1 QB taken so far in the 6th round. Hopefully these ding-dongs send us a QB on the way back here. I would happily collect some of these QBs that are still out there. And as we finish the 6th round here, I'm just going to take a look over at the other board and see what's available. I'm going to have to push up these quarterbacks here. Even Desmond Ritter's not the worst. I mean, if I can get 2 of these quarterbacks left here that I have on my starred queue, I'll be just fine. I think you can get away with an anchor QB in Superflex and then just kind of like try and pigeonhole a QB2 in there. And guess what? Like, it's Superflex. You don't have to start a QB in the Superflex every week. Like, if we're out there and it's essentially my next receiver pick will be competing with my quarterbacks for the Superflex spot, because I'm going to have Olave and Tyreek in there for most of my wide receiver starts. Keenan Allen's probably going to be in my flex spot. But hey, if we can grab one more guy that can compete with our QB2, I think I'm totally fine with that. And again, I think people are making a mistake grabbing QBs a little bit too early, too QB happy here in the 4th and 5th rounds. But that's okay. I just want to see who else. I mean, He Builder's got 3 QBs here, so I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about Jeff here, though. Jeff does not have a QB yet. Otherwise, everybody pretty much has. This guy's going to take a 2nd QB here, probably. But yeah, we got to worry about Jeff, sending us a QB back. And this guy continues. This guy right here, Tangy World. He's only got 1 QB. It's Justin Fields. But he is building a nice Chicago Bears, Atlanta Falcons game stack right now. He's got Drake London and Kyle Pitts. Maybe he'll rotate to some of the Bears running backs at some point. And there goes Kyler Murray. Not sure I love that pick there. I totally get it. But he's not going to be playing for a good portion of the year. Let's see what my name Jeff does here. He's got to take a QB. He doesn't have one yet. There he goes, Bryce Young. And we did it. We got one of our guys to fall to us. I'm going to land on Brock Purdy here. We're just going to run that pick in. I feel pretty good about that. He was towards the top of the queue. So we get a QB2. The buys don't match, which is nice. Purdy by 10, Tua has a bye week 10 in Purdy 9. So let's see here. I should probably grab one more quarterback here. I'm just going to grab CJ Stroud and we'll call it a day. I hate passing up Treylon Burks and some of these guys here, but getting my 3rd QB, we're done. That feels good now. And we sweated it out for a bit. Hopefully we can build out some kind of stack correlation with CJ Stroud. I'm not sure about Brock Purdy. All of his major weapons are pretty much gone. Ayuk, Debo, George Kittle, but we'll see what we can figure out here along the way. And Jeff's just rolling with Bryce Young right now. He's probably feeling the quarterback burn at the moment right now. But I think you're going to see a lot of unique builds in this contest. I mean, if you just want to take one elite QB and grab some guys later, obviously I think I'm done at QB, and hopefully from now on we can grab some running backs and some more wideouts. I feel really good about the Mark Andrews stack we got. Maybe we can get if we can get Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, one of those Ravens receivers, I'd feel good about that too. Continue building out our Ravens Dolphins bet. There goes Sam Howell. And Tangy World's only got 1 QB at the moment. That's Justin Fields. We'll see what they do here. I probably don't need a 4th quarterback. I feel good about CJ Stroud starting the whole season, assuming healthiness, and Brock Purdy. Hopefully he's on track to start week 1. But yeah, so far so good. And hey, if you guys are just joining the stream, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you are new. We're doing the Chihuahua but Superflex draft here, $4 draft, 25 max entry. This thing's going to be filled in a couple days. The last one that they had last week, it lasted maybe 3 days. So if you're trying to get into it, you got to do it now. And if you're not on Underdog, there's a link in the description to get you guys a promo code. I think they're going to do a $100 deposit match. If you put $100 in, they'll send you $100 back, or they'll match whatever you put in. But let's kind of recap here. Notice, starting in the 6th round, only 1 QB went, and that was the first pick here, Kenny Pickett. You're looking at Kyler Murray, Bryce Young, Brock Purdy, CJ Stroud, Sam Howell. At the end of the 8th round here, the only quarterbacks available left that are starters, Desmond Ridder, Jimmy Garoppolo, Baker Mayfield, and Ryan Tannehill. That is the bottom barrel of the QB market. Treylon Burke still kicking around here. That would be a fun slide if he continues to do it. Mac Jones just went. I'm going to start to push up some guys here, and I don't really necessarily care if they correlate. I don't need them to correlate. I'm going to just continue to build up my my queue here. Let's see, Quentin Johnston, another piece for us. And I do want to pull up one thing too. I've been kind of focused on, I'm calling it stacks within stacks this year. And it's all available in the 2023 playbook. I'm going to pull up an article that I wrote. And it's got, yeah, my best ball cheat sheets here. So this is a fantastic cheat sheet for you guys. What I like about it is it kind of tells me who everyone's playing. So the Dolphins are going to get the Jets, the Cowboys, and the Ravens week 17. And the Ravens, who we're leaning into that. We have Jacksonville, San Francisco, Miami. So like when I lean into a heavy Ravens Dolphins stack, I want to begin to look at their week 15 and 16 opponents and kind of target some of those, because if I can get some secondary stacks off this, I'm feeling pretty good. So the Jets, the Cowboys, the Jags, and the 49ers. So we'll get what we can get. At the top of the list here, there are some Ravens receivers still kicking it. So I think we're going to probably build out some of those guys here. If I can get Quentin, I'm happy with it. Running backs look pretty banged up at the moment now. Dalvin Cook, James Cook, not in love with any of these guys. So what I will do, we're going to take Rashad Bateman here just to make sure we get one of the Ravens receivers. He's going to be our number 4 receiver. So all of a sudden we got Dobbins, Bateman, and Mark Andrews in that Ravens build. I don't need to push Zay Flowers here, but we can totally do it if we wish. We'll see what He Builder does here. He's on the clock. He does need, he needs a little bit of everything, and probably wide receiver for sure. He takes Dalvin Cook. Okay, so he's leaning into the running back position. And one more pick to go. I like Quentin Johnston a lot. I don't know if do I need to overdo it with the Ravens here? Maybe. There goes Quentin Johnson. So that kind of makes me feel good about Zay Flowers here. So boom, we just built out a really nice Ravens stack here. We don't have the Ravens QB, but we got Tua paired with Tyreek. And then the Ravens, we have J.K. Dobbins, we have Bateman, we have Flowers, and we have Mark Andrews. So I'm feeling pretty good about this stack. And then later on, I do have C.J. Stroud, so let me queue up some Texans. I mean, if we can get Nico, Dalton Schultz, I'd take Singletary late, Mechie, Robert Woods late, Tank Dell. I'm totally on board with grabbing some of these later Texan players. Who else? The Texans are going to play the Titans week 17. So if we can get, I'd be happy with more correlation on this front here. We'll even put Tyjae Spears in here. And again, if you guys are new to my channel, I've been kind of working on this idea. I'm calling it stacks within stacks, where clearly I have a Dolphins and a Ravens build right now. So they play each other week 17. But hey, if I can get some Cowboys or some Jets on here that correlate with my Dolphins build, I'm happy with that. If I can correlate some Jags or some 49ers, I'm happy with that as well. We do have Brock Purdy in here, so that feels good. I think the Jags are probably all spent. We can maybe grab Tank Bigsby. Or I'm not a fan of Zay Jones, but he might be there for us. Otherwise, like Michael Gallup, maybe Jake Ferguson. The Jets are pretty much spent up as well. I wouldn't be opposed to taking we're probably not going to take any Jets. And then we grabbed CJ Stroud. The Texans are down here. They're going to get Tennessee, Cleveland, Tennessee. So if we can grab some Titans, I'm happy with it. We can even grab Will Levis if we wanted to towards the end of the draft, but we'll see what happens. Let me go back to the big board for you guys. And let me know in the comments if you guys are liking anyone's draft so far. I can zoom up and zoom out if you guys need to see some of the teams. But we're at that point in the draft where we're kind of leveling back off, from the quarterback avalanche. And it's kind of starting to feel like a normal draft. Like you got Juju, Gibson, Michael Thomas. This is kind of feeling like the 9th round of your typical Underdog or whatever, site draft that we're on. So starting to even out a little bit. I just want to see, we're in round 11 right now. Quarterbacks available: Trey Lance, Jacoby Brissett, Will Levis, Mike White. Quarterbacks are hit pretty hard here. I don't think we're going to grab another one. At this point, I'm probably going to be happy just continuing to draft off ADP. And again, I want to look at these stacks one more time here. Actually, let me look at my team. We do have Chris Olave, Keenan Allen. I don't know if anything makes sense to go Saints with Chargers. Yeah, at this point, we need running backs. I wouldn't be opposed to a backup tight end, but we'll kind of just see how it goes. But yeah, hope you guys are doing well this Sunday. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you are new to the channel. I've been working hard on the YouTube this week. I put out, I think this is my 6th video of the weekend. I put out ranking videos for each position: QB, RB, wide receiver, and tight end. So those are all fresh for you guys. And then I also put out a Yahoo draft last night. It was kind of a shit show. It's just kind of fun to see the ADP, but check out the Yahoo draft if you guys play in Yahoo or half PPR. We're on the clock here. I'm going to take, we got a little correlation here with our Brock Purdy, San Francisco. We got Brian Robinson here as our running back 2 right now. And he was towards the top of the queue, which makes sense. And again, the 49ers, they're going to get Washington and they get Baltimore. So if I can grab some more 49ers or Commanders, I think that's a pretty good build here. I just want to look up and see. I think the 49ers are pretty much dead. Elijah Mitchell just went. Let me see. We're on the clock right now. I think the Commanders are all pretty much spent as well. So at this point, we'll probably just pick off ADP. I don't need to over-abuse my Baltimore Ravens stack. I see Odell Beckham here. I think that's a good fit. Otherwise, Damian Harris is here. I'm going to reach a little bit, though. My favorite running back to draft right now, it's Jamal Williams. We know that he's going to be a starting running back for a certain amount of games. Alvin Kamara has his court date. I believe it's the last day of July. And I'm continuing to buy as much Jamal Williams as I possibly can while he is away. And then the other thing about that, too, is I grabbed Jamal Williams because I do have Chris Olave. So I'm building out another little Saints bet right there. And then the Saints do play New York, the Rams, and Tampa Bay. So I don't know if I have any of that correlated right now, but I will continue to try and build some Saints if I can. Let me type in some Saints here on the queue. I mean, Kendre Miller, Juwan Johnson. I love Taysom Hill. I love Rashid Shaheed. So there's some decent Saint bets out here left for us. Let me just move. And if you guys aren't using your queue to look for teams yet, you guys got to start doing that. It really helps. After your first couple picks, you can kind of see where your draft is going. It really helps to build out and search for your teams to make sure you guys are correlating players. We have a pretty good correlated game going on so far. Teams I've been targeting here, again, the Dolphins, the Ravens. We got that locked down pretty good in that we did correlate a little bit of that with San Francisco. We got Purdy. We have, did I get another 49er? I don't think I got another 49er, but we got Purdy, so that feels good. And then that also led us to Brian Robinson. I guess if I could get Curtis Samuel, I'm cool with it. It would have been nice to get Gibson paired with it, but it is what it is. But yeah, moving and grooving, end of the 12th round here. I think the quarterback market has taken its toll, and it's pretty much done. But yeah, I got a new microphone coming this afternoon, guys. I'm so excited. This one, it's fine. It's maybe 5 or 6 years old. I don't think it's giving me the best quality that I can get, though. So I have a new Rode microphone coming, and it should be here at some point this afternoon. So I'm super excited about that. We'll see how it goes. But either way, I'm just trying to get back caught up. We're picking at 155 and 158 next. Let's just kind of look around and see what we can queue up. I did mention the Cowboys somehow fit into one of our builds. Oh, yeah, because the Dolphins play the Cowboys. The Dolphins play the Cowboys. We'll queue up Jake Ferguson here. I'm super nervous about the Cowboys signing a running back too. I really like Malik Davis as the number 2 back right now, but I don't trust the Cowboys to hold on to him as their QB2. They could easily go out and sign a guy like Fournette, Kareem Hunt. They could bring Zeke back. I think there's going to be some movement coming up soon in the running back market. You got You got Fournette, Dalvin Cook, Kareem Hunt, and Zeke. I mean, when all these dominoes fall, there's going to be some big ADP shifts. So I think it's a good idea, especially towards the back end of these drafts. You want to get some exposure to those veteran running backs because when they sign, they're probably going to move up boards by at least a round, if not 2 rounds. And then I think the other big domino to fall is probably DeAndre Hopkins. But anyways, looking into the 13th round here, the 13th round kind of feels like the 11th round of a standard draft here. So it's starting to feel more comfortable again. Nico Collins, man, we're going to get Nico Collins paired with our CJ Stroud here. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And anytime I talk up a guy, I usually get sniped on him. So I might have just screwed us here. But Dalton Schultz is there too. I would totally be cool with building out that little Houston angle here. We do need a QB. Or we need a tight end too. I feel okay with our running backs here. Dobbins, B-Rob, and Jamal. Tank Bigsby is there. But I'm going to grab Nico here. Again, he correlates with our CJ Stroud bet. If He Builder allows Dalton Schultz to pass, I'm feeling pretty good about this build. Because then we got a heavy little Houston stack, and I low key, man, I'm kind of getting excited about the Houston Texans because they have, especially in best ball formats, it's so easy to stack these guys. Like you're looking at Nico and Dalton Schultz here on the turn in the 13th, 14th round. If you wanted to correlate Dameon Pierce with this, you totally can. That's not a problem. But otherwise, Nico, Schultz, Stroud, there's, Tank Dell, John Mechie, Bob Woods. There's a lot of potential to stack with Houston. And there we go. We completed the Houston stack. That feels really good. Tua, Purdy, CJ Stroud. We don't have anybody stacked with Purdy, but we do have Brian Robinson kind of week 17 game stacked here. And the thing I like about the 49ers is they do play the Ravens week 16. So maybe we get this like epic Ravens 49ers game where Purdy goes off for 3 TDs and the Ravens all blow up too. That could, definitely be in play. And then, of course, our Ravens build is pretty strong. Dobbins, Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, and Mark Andrews. Obviously, Lamar would look really nice on this build, but it is what it is. You're probably going to see a run of tight ends happen here. We're kind of hitting that running back dead zone. I will, once it gets back to me at my next turn, I'll probably start to fill out some running backs on this roster. But yeah, you're seeing a lot of blue fly off the boards right now. And hey, if you guys are new to the Fantasy Fellowship, don't be shy. Say hi in the comments. Give the video a like. It lets people know that there are some let me see. This is live, but what's going on, Scott? How we're doing? Let me show you, my man. If you go to Underdog, and I noticed it yesterday too, they didn't really have it available. If you just hit the home tab, it's right here, the Chihuahua, but Superflex. If you're looking on your mobile phone, I noticed like they don't, when you hit the NFL tab, it's not there. But if you hit the home tab and just do the swipe, it should be the second or third one. Yeah, no problem, Scott. Hope you're having a great Sunday, my man. I always like seeing you in the video comments. I don't know how long you've been watching, but man, oh man, I built out a pretty nice week 17 stack here. We started with Tyreek and Tua, and then I kind of punted at QB, but it worked out for us. But we got Tyreek and Tua. We got Mark Andrews in that week 17 game. I did grab J.K. Dobbins as kind of our anchor running back. And then I came back with Bateman and Zay Flowers. So we got a really nice week 17 build out here. And then, yeah, I'm so glad. I've been waiting for the Superflex. The Superflex, like they had one really early. I want to say like in April or May, they had one out here, and then there's been nothing. But I'm assuming, as we get into July here, there's going to be a ton of Superflex contests. Like I want DraftKings to get one. I want Drafters to have one. Drafters did some last year too. So I expect Drafters to get one. But for sure, super excited about this one. And the fact that it's a $4 Chihuahua, like you can do a ton of these, and it's pretty fun. But yeah, we're building out a pretty solid team at the moment right now. We're heavy Dolphins and Ravens. We like that. And then I got a pretty nice Houston stack. I got Stroud, Nico, and Schultz. If I can get it looks like I'm gonna have to grab Tajay Spears here with my next pick. I think the Titans are all pretty much banged up here. I don't want to grab one of these janky receivers, but if I can grab Tajay, I think that would feel pretty good at the end. And of course, as soon as I say it, he goes. That's just kind of the way it goes. It sucks, but what are you going to do? We do need running backs. We're on deck right now. Dobbins, B-Rob, and Jamal Williams. Let me see. I don't mind Deonta Foreman. I like Kenneth Gainwell quite a bit too. Tyler Allgeier's fine. But I'm gonna grab Foreman here and see what gets tossed back around. Yes, sir. You got to do some $4 Chihuahuas, man. I'm gonna try and max out the contest. It's a 25 max contest, so I'm gonna try my best to max it out. If it happens, it happens. I'm gonna continue building out. I don't love Curtis Samuel here, but he does fit in with my Brian Robinson, Brock Purdy, week 17. I don't know if this is the smartest move. My head says I should probably take one of these receivers, Marvin Mims, DPJ. I like Kenneth Gainwell a lot. I'm going to take Gainwell just because I'm not going to like the RBs coming up soon. So I get Dobbins, B-Rob, Jamal, Deonta Foreman, Kenneth Gainwell. Who knows? I don't think Curtis Samuel's going to hurt me if I don't have him in week 17. So we should be okay. But yeah, if you guys are just joining us and missed it, Underdog, they have some kind of glitch right now on their site and app. If you toggle the home button and then you swipe once to get the next contest, the Chihuahua is there. If you click on NFL, it's for some reason it's not there. I don't understand. Maybe it's just a glitch in their Superflex, something going on here. And then if you guys are also just joining me, I kind of want to talk about the stacks within the stacks again. Because what I did here, I made this list. I think Gainwell's the guy to own in this backfield. I like taking shots on Rashad Penny. I for sure like Penny a lot. And then I haven't been I don't know about you, Scott. I have not been taking a ton of DeAndre Swift. I did take him yesterday though. I put him in my yesterday when this contest opened. I legit got the #1 draft pick like 4 times in a row. So I was doing some Jalen Hurts builds and I threw Swift in there. I didn't feel good about it. I think his ADP is way out of whack, but it did fit the build. I think he's the safest bet to be involved as a first and second down runner and a receiver. Like I think Penny's the clear guy that like makes sense on first and second down. And then when you get to the passing downs, I think it's probably Swift and Gainwell. But I just know that if I can get 8 to 10 touches from Kenneth Gainwell in that offense, one of those could go for a touchdown. And then who knows? Like DeAndre Swift, never stays healthy. And guess who else doesn't stay healthy? Rashad freaking Penny. So by week 17, Kenneth Gainwell could be the guy you need. He's definitely been a guy that I've been trying to target aggressively here. And I want to talk about stacks within stacks real quick. I made this chart, and what I did here is on the far right, you can see my offenses are ranked, and these are by like fantasy points. So Kansas City, clearly the #1 offense. If you're building a Mahomes, Kelsey something out, you want to look at their week 15 and 16 games because everyone's stacking Cincinnati, Kansas City, and rightfully so. But you're going to need week 15 and 16 to get you to week 17 here. So when you start a Kansas City Bengals build, throw in some Patriots, throw in some Raiders. That's all I'm kind of, preaching on here. The Cowboys have been one of my favorite teams to stack because they play the Lions week 17, but they also get Buffalo and Miami, which are high octane offenses. So if you can get a Cowboys Lions thing going, tack on some Buffalo Bills and some Miami Dolphins. And that's pretty much the whole thesis of the stacks within stacks. I have 1 share of Swift because just in case, and he fell a bit in that draft. And I do have 0 shares. Interesting. So you're not a Penny guy. Interesting. So what I like about Penny is I know he's good when he gets the chance. I don't know how many chances he's going to get. If he's only healthy for 6 or 7 games, that means he's probably only going to be in my lineup at best 3 or 4 times here. So I'm not super into Penny. In fact, I don't think I have a ton of them. Let me see what we got here. Let me see. I'm nervous. Let me see. Penny. I got 2.7% Penny, so I'm fine with that. It looks like I took him only a couple times here. I'm totally fine with that. That's not going to hurt me. And I don't think I've taken any Penny in the Superflex contest yet. Looks like I got the Wheel of Death. And yeah, I mean, when you can get Kenneth Gainwell however much later, I think it's just the way I prefer to do it. But as we're getting closer to our next pick. Gus Edwards is creeping towards the top of the board. He does correlate with our Ravens build. I don't hate that. Curious, Scott, are you into Leonard Fournette? I don't know if you missed it, but I was talking about these veteran running backs. Like when they sign, they're going to move up their ADP significantly. And for me to get Leonard Fournette at pick 200, whatever, if I can get that, I'm feeling really good about it because, man, like what if the Ravens or what if the Bengals just cut Joe Mixon, because he doesn't take the pay cut or whatever, and they sign Leonard Fournette? You got Leonard Fournette RB1 for the whole damn season. I think that could be really attractive, and that's a fun way to just get some shares there. So I'm gonna collect Gus Edwards, Dobbins, B. Rob, Jamal, Deonta, Kenneth Gainwell. We'll put Gus Edwards in there, and hopefully we can get a touchdown out of one of our Ravens backs every week. We'll see what He Builder does here. I think I'm going to take Fournette. We missed on Fournette. Good pick. But I'm happy with our running back room here now. I do have Jake Ferguson tabbed as a potential guy here. I don't love the wide receivers at this point. We'll sleep on if we can get Robert Woods or Tank Dell tacked on to the end of this. I'm cool with that. We only have 2 tight ends, so I'm just going to grab Jake Ferguson. And the reason why, again, it's that stack within the stack situation where the Dolphins play the Cowboys at one point in the playoffs. So we'll tack on Ferguson, who I think is going to be the leading receiving tight end for the Cowboys. Let me see. So we have 2 picks left, guys. If you guys have any thoughts on who we should grab with our final picks in the comments, I'd love to hear it. I'm hoping to get if we can get one of the Texans receivers, I'm feeling good about that. Let me see here. It's difficult not to select shares of Fournette, Zeke, and Dalvin Cook. I've got shares of each. Yes. And I'm not sure when. I mean, it's June 25th. I think training camps literally start in a month from now. So I would imagine these guys are all veterans. They don't love training camp. It might be going up, to the training camp dates where these guys get signed. Or otherwise, if there's any injuries while these guys are working out on their own the next month, that could happen too. But you want exposure to some of these veteran running backs. And I think they're all gone now. Kareem Hunt just went. I should have maybe played that off a little bit better. This guy took Fournette. I don't know if he would have taken Gus Edwards. But if I could have got Fournette and Gus, I would have felt pretty good about that. But, oh well, hindsight 2020. And, if you guys have any thoughts on who I should finish off my draft with, I'll kind of recap it here for you guys. Quarterbacks, Tua, Purdy, CJ Stroud. I feel good about that group. I think it's a solid group. Tua hopefully is our anchor all season. But Purdy, CJ Stroud, if we can just get 14 and 15-point games chipping in from them, I'm going to feel good about that. The running back room, we waited on running back, but I feel good about the group now. We got Dobbins, B-Rob, Jamal, Foreman, and all 4 of those guys are fantastic half PPR backs. They're not going to catch a ton of passes, but they will be getting their share of goal line touches and hopefully racking up yards. And then we finished with Gainwell and Gus Edwards. That feels like a good running back room. Receiver room, it's interesting because in this contest, you only have 2 starting spots at the receiver position because they gave the other third one to the Superflex. So we have Tyreek and Olave. Those 2 guys are going to hopefully hold down our top 2 spots for the whole year. But then we got Keenan Allen probably as our flex. We'll get Bateman and Zay Flowers duking it out for flex spots. And then Nico Collins, who correlates with our CJ Stroud. The tight end room, we got Mark Andrews as a part of our Ravens-Dolphins stack. We got Dalton Schultz stacked with CJ Stroud. And then a random Jake Ferguson appears as the Dolphins play. Just picture this. It's week 16. The Cowboys are trying to secure a wild card playoff spot. Jake Ferguson comes out of nowhere, catches 2 touchdowns and 80 yards against the Dolphins in a double overtime game or something crazy. Xavier Hutchinson, C. Anderson are money. Interesting. You like Robbie Anderson late. And it makes sense. It makes sense. He has been – I like the Robbie Anderson one because I did see some blurbs on him in The Athletic, and I haven't taken much Hutchinson yet. My thought, Scott, is if I can get Robert Woods or Tank Dell, that's probably where I'm going to go. Because I think in 2 wide receiver sets, it's going to be Nico and Robert Woods. And what I like about Robert Woods, he is the chosen one this year. But what I like about Robert Woods is He's still at a good age. Let's see, Robert Woods, I think he's 30. He's 31. Okay, so that's okay. But he had an awful year last year in Tennessee. He was also in his first year back from a serious knee injury, where this is his healthy offseason for him. I think Robert Woods might be a good pick this late. Obviously, you want kind of youth, but maybe I'll get you a Hutchinson one. So you like Hutchinson over Tank Dell? I guess for me, I like Hutchinson. I can't remember. I think Hutchinson kind of competes with. He's kind of like the Nico Collins backup. So to me, I have Nico. I would need a Nico injury, I think, for Hutchinson to see the field. I think you're going to probably see Woods, Tank Dell, and Mechie be on the field over Hutchinson. I don't know. I like it though, and I definitely need to probably get some more exposure to Hutchinson. They did get him at a steal in the draft. The Texans had a good draft, man. Stroud, Tank Dell, Hutchinson, some defensive players. It did turn out pretty well. I got a 3-6-6-3 build here. I'm totally cool with ending this draft on wide receivers. We are getting the chosen one here. The chosen one is Robbie Anderson. Yeah. Yep. Oh, man, Woods and Tank Dell are both available here. I'm going to grab Robbie because that correlates the most with Tua in our big game stack there. Bob Woods, Nathaniel Dell, and Hutchinson all available. I'm actually kind of excited about Tank Dell. I think the Texans are too. Man, oh man. I'm gonna take Robert Woods. Don't yell at me, Scott. I'm gonna take Robert Woods. We're picking at pick 230 here. He's still available. I think he's gonna be on the field the most. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tank Dell and Hutchinson make some plays this year, but I'm gonna go with the guy that I think is gonna play the most. So don't yell at me. Don't yell at me. I think this is a fun build though. We did pretty good, dude. I built out a really nice correlated team here. Tua, Purdy, and CJ Stroud at QB. Our tight ends are Mark, Schultz, and Ferguson. Receivers, Tyreek Hill, Chris Olave, Keenan Allen, Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, Nico Collins, Chosen Anderson, Bob Woods, and I think this might be one of my favorite and best correlated teams so far. Dobbins, B-Rob, Jamal, Deonta, Kenneth Gainwell, Gus Edwards, and that's it. That is the final round. We'll let this finish up here. But yeah, guys, get over to Underdog. If you guys still aren't Underdog, there's a promo code in this description. They're going to match your deposit. If you put $50 in, they'll give you 50. It goes up to $100. So sign up there. Shout out to Scott for hanging out. He's always in the best ball streets in the comments here. So love you, man. Take it easy, guys. Yes, it was a good one. That was a really fun correlated one. And I think it turned out pretty good. So excited about it. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, though, guys. Get some Chihuahuas done. Relax. Enjoy the day. We'll see you guys in another video in the future. Peace.